All right, we're good.
All right, awesome. Well, hey guys, thanks for hopping on tonight. So this is going to be boring for my coaches who are on, but I was going to tell them a little bit more about me and my story before we start. So, I'm a farm wife from Gackle, North Dakota. It's literally in the middle of nowhere. I always say Amazon Prime takes an extra day to get here. And I started coaching. It's been over 4 years now, and I actually have a background in architectural drafting and design. So I was doing that full time and working like long days, like 14-hour days. It was crazy. And I actually was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis when I was 23. And so that's the reason why I started with Beachbody. And I actually was a free customer to Rose. So she reached out to me. So I always reach out to your free customers. I even have to remind myself of that because I was one. And she reached out to me and got me in her accountability group. And I just kind of fell in love with it from there. And I always was into like fitness, but not necessarily sports. And so I always enjoyed working out, but I was never in sports in high school or college. So I really just kind of wasn't very sure about the opportunity at first, just because and I put a slideshow together for you guys too, by the way. I never do this. So, I basically was really nervous and really skeptical about the opportunity because I'm from a small town. And so, I didn't want kind of like the small town talk about myself or doing this business. And so, when I started, I was really skeptical and I kind of dabbled in it. And when I seen the opportunity, I ran with it. So basically, who I am now as a coach is I'm a full-time coach as of 2.5 years. We are also expecting our daughter, our first baby, in November, which I'm glad and thankful that I get to be at home with her. And we are a one-star diamond team. I've been in Success Club for 44 months, I believe, which is huge to me. Like, I'm not giving that up. You can pull my teeth out, but I'm not going to ever try to always hit Success Club. And yeah, so that's kind of more about me, I guess. I went to Summit this year. It was my second Summit. Yeah, I guess that's kind of everything. I'm a farm wife. My husband and I have been married 6 years. So yeah, there's kind of a little synopsis about who I am. So tonight we're talking about, here's the first one. So tonight we're talking about leading where you are, even if that's just means leading yourself. Um, because sometimes I know in the past I was leading myself. And this happened to be just last year. If I would have went to Summit last year, I wouldn't have had anyone go with me. And so it's true that literally building a team can happen overnight. And actually today I got like the team builder, like this cool little like crystal, I don't know, cube to put on my desk. Like I never gotten anything like that in the corporate world. So getting those like little prizes and stuff is so awesome to me. Like, I don't know, I just love it. So the biggest thing, I have kind of just a few slides that I put together, but the biggest thing is leading, when it comes to leading a team or leading yourself, is to commit to a program and a nutrition plan. So basically committing your team or yourself to do the same, and basically really hitting the nail on the head. If you're not doing your Shakeology, if you're not drinking your performance line or whatever, you're not a proof the product works, like the vital behaviors say, like, how do you expect other people to follow you? And honestly, do kind of a gut check. Like, when was the last time you followed the containers for the whole 21 days or for the whole program? And honestly, like for me, it's been a while. And especially now that I'm pregnant, I'm not really following anything. I'm just trying to eat healthy as possible. And then once baby comes out, I will worry about that. But um, honestly, it is hard. Like the nutrition part is hard. I could do a workout every day of the week, but to follow the nutrition, which I feel like so many people struggle with, is hard. So make sure first that you're going all in. And what a time to go all in. Like, we have 100 days of committing, or 100 workouts to commit to going all in. And I'm actually on day 11, because when we started the program, it's a 100-day program, right? So our due date was in 102 days. So I was like, okay, I need to like speed this up a little and get this done. So I've done a few double days myself. So I'm a little ahead of schedule, but I've been enjoying it for sure. And focus on getting your own results before you can help others. It's kind of like in the airplane. I always think of this example, but in the airplane, when they tell you like to do your own oxygen mask before you can help assist others, because it doesn't do you any good to pass out. So you have to be able to help yourself get results before you can help others. Do you have to be at your goal weight or your, whatever, your goal body to coach? Absolutely not. But you have to get some sort of results and have some sort of story to tell. And honestly, for me, my story is a little bit different. I actually gained weight from doing Beachbody. And so I didn't have a lot of weight to lose. I wasn't your average like success story. I just wanted to do this to get healthy, to get past like having rheumatoid arthritis and kind of finding a healthy balance for my life. So that is the first one. So committing to a program and nutrition plan. The next one that I have to say is to go all in on your business. And I don't know what in the hell it took me so long to get to do this one and to get this one through my head. But I literally dabbled in my business for the first 6 months of my time being a coach. I think I signed up my very first like customer. I think she bought T25 from me in March. And I didn't really dive into my business until November of that year. And I know I saw the progress. I kind of seen like, oh, okay, like I just was able to pay for groceries, or I was able to save money, or I was able to, I remember one of my first purchases was buying a new blender. I bought a Ninja blender. It had the big, blender cup and then the little blender cups. And I still have it today. It's still my blender. But I always tell that story because I think for me, that was kind of the turning point, is buying a new blender for some reason. Like I was like, whoa, like I was able to buy this with my coaching money. So make sure that you go all in on your business and don't, wait like I did. Like go all in right now. And if you haven't been going all in, this is your time, right? This is your time right now to go all in. And this is kind of your slap in the face of like, what are you doing? Go all in. So literally showing up every single day, being your own CEO. I always tell my girls too, is like, do you think the CEO of McDonald's, like, do you think he just sits back and relaxes? No, he thinks of new menu items. He probably is, making calls to all the local McDonald's to see how they're doing. Show up like you are the own CEO of your business. And you have to treat it like a business. Show up in ways that you've never have before. Maybe you've always kind of thought of it as a hobby and you've never thought of it as a business opportunity. So what does this mean? Like checking in with your challengers, checking in with clients that maybe just purchased BOD. Maybe they didn't get a challenge pack. Checking in with your free leads, sending out monthly or biweekly newsletters. This is something that I recently started doing this year. And yes, of course, I get a lot of, people that unsubscribe, but it's still really a great way. I've had actually a couple of people sign up with challenge packs through this. So it's really, really a great way to send out a newsletter to the people that maybe you don't get to connect with as much, or maybe they're not even on Facebook. So it's a really great way. Mentoring coaches if you have them. Posting on social media and doing the vital behaviors daily. They're vital behaviors for a reason. I know, we hear that all the time, but it is true. Like if you're not, doing all the things, then you probably need to like reevaluate who you are. All right, so sharing your story openly. So I know one of the first things that Rose told me, because I was kind of shy about posting, I always tell the story, I don't only show like or share like things on my social media that had like the recipes, and it showed like the hands, doing the things, and then at the end you'd get a cake or whatever. So that's kind of the stuff that I would share. I'd share like boutique giveaways that you could, win a dress or whatever. And every once in a while I would share a picture of something that, was exciting in my life, which on the farm and living in North Dakota, it's not too exciting. But so Rose always told me is like, pretend your social media is a journal or a diary. And I tell the same thing to my coaches, because for me, it helped me overcome that fear of like knowing people would see my posts and what they would think about it. So I only think that I'm talking to an audience of one. And that audience is me and God. That you're only posting to show yourself, to document yourself in your daily life, right? So that's kind of what you have to think about it as, is kind of, it's just a diary, it's just a journal to document your progress. I always tell my girls too, is be the girl next door. So of course in the Midwest, and a lot of my coaches are from the Midwest and farm girls, small town girls. So we are known to be nice, right? They even say North Dakota nice because of that reason. So be the girl next door. Like, don't talk to your followers like they're a bunch of minions. Be open and honest with them. Be genuine. Be yourself. Genuinely show up. And I actually like sharing other things, more so other things than just coaching opportunity and Beachbody. And people always tell me all the time is they love how real I am on social media. And that's such a huge compliment, because I know where I started and it was not pretty. But just being the girl next door and just showing up and being who you are and being genuine, and not having a fear, and not really I don't know, just kind of being an open book, honestly, and talking about it all. I've talked about my huge pregnancy boobs. I've talked about my pregnancy acne. I've talked about the pregnancy farts. I talk about it all on my Insta stories, but I'm kind of an open book that way. I just like to share and make people laugh, and just, be the girl next door. And take time to get to know people. Taking that time, that extra time to creating that relationship first, is huge in this business. A lot of the people that I have on my team today, it didn't take just one invite. It took many invites. And just being able to connect with them and building their trust first is what we have to do as coaches. Because I always tell my new girls is, people aren't going to jump on the Beachbody train right away. They're not going to jump on your train. They want to kind of see if you're legit and kind of see if you're going to do this for real or not, and it's going to take time to build that trust and see if you're going to get results and see if you're going to do this longer than 3 weeks, and so just be patient with your business is a huge, huge thing too, is just having that patience and seeing things long term, not just, I've been a coach for a month and, I didn't hit Success Club, or I didn't even sign up one person. There were many months when that was my story when I was a new coach. So you have to really be on this journey for the long term and see the long-term vision in this. Okay, showing up in big ways is the other one. So basically leading from the front, and I know we hear this all the time, like lead from the front, lead from the front. But sometimes we have to just lead ourselves first before we can lead other people. And this comes a lot back to even just showing up and going all in a program. So if you can't, if you're not going all in your program, and if you're not going all in your coaching business, how can you lead a team? So you have to be showing up. And another stat that I really like is I'm pretty sure I've heard this somewhere. It might even been Summit, but your team will only do 40% of what you're actually doing. So if you're sending out 10 invites, that means that your coaches per day are sending out 5 or less. That's just a sad but true fact. If you're hitting Success Club 5 every month, that means your coaches aren't even hitting Success Club. So basically, you need to level up what you're doing. So are you doing the vital behaviors? Are you doing personal development? Are you hitting Success Club? Are you having 200 plus PV each week of volume? Are you doing all the things that you expect your coaches to do. And that's kind of like a gut check. You're kind of like, whoa, that is true. Like, I guess I'm not doing personal development. And actually, funny story, in the beginning, I wasn't doing personal development. And I'd always tell Rose, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm doing it, whatever. I was like, but in the back of my head, I was like, I don't need personal development. Are you kidding me? Like, I'm not that, down of a person. But then she called me out on it. And until I got that first PD book, I didn't really know what I was missing out on, like it is super helpful. Like we need to be doing PD in our business in order to just survive, because this business is tough. It's hard. And so make sure that if you aren't doing personal development, that you make it a priority to do it. Outwork you. So showing up every single day, being consistently consistent. And I love saying that, because being consistent, you can say that, but you have to be consistently consistent. You have to show up even when you don't feel like it. And trust me, when I first started this business and I was working 14-hour days and I was commuting an hour one way, I didn't feel like showing up some days. And then I switched jobs and I got this horrible boss. He was horrible to work for. So always putting me down. And I honestly, that's why I had tears in my eyes today when I got this leadership, or this like leadership ladder crystal cube thing today for recognition, because I was like, coming like 3 years ago, I was told that I basically was a failure. And so coming full circle and getting these rewards and these like little prizes just shows that I've proven to myself over and over again that I outwork myself. And showing up when you don't feel like it is one of those things. And there were days when I was depressed, when I was down, and I didn't feel like showing up. But literally in more ways than one, this business saved me, because it was in those days that I didn't feel like going to work, or I didn't feel like showing up, that I did it anyway. And this was like my saving grace, because it was a purpose that I had for my life. Even though I was being told that I was a failure, I wasn't, because I had this business. And you have to treat it as a multi-million-dollar business, even if it isn't yet. I don't know about you, but I haven't earned $1 million yet. But when I saw the legacy people up there on stage, I was like, I don't care if it takes me 50 years to get up there. I'm going to get up there, and I can guarantee you I will. And so treat this business as a multi-million-dollar business that it really is. But also make things fun. So I know so many times, and this happened to me before too, like in the past, we get burnt out of showing up on this business, because it does take time, it does take effort. And so making things fun, like, I don't know, can you sit down with your favorite cup of coffee in the morning? Can you put on like music that is like going to pump you up and like makes you feel lifted up? What makes things fun for you in this business? Whether it's taking little breaks and knowing like, okay, after I get this done, then I can do this. That's fun. And for me, that's been getting like baby stuff ready. Or today, my allergies have been really bad because it's hay fever season here and ragweed season, and so I haven't been able to really go outside that much. So today I watched a Hallmark Channel movie. So just like little things that you can do. But before I watched that, I made sure that I had some work done. So I wasn't like, okay, I need to get work done. So I wasn't feeling rushed. So make things fun. Make your business fun again. Figure out what's working and what's not. So what is working for you right now? Is it maybe, inviting, maybe a script that you're sending? Maybe something is working really well for you right now. But guess what? In a couple of months, it might not be, because that's social media. So I feel like one kind of bad but also good thing in this business is that it challenges us to evolve and change every single month. There's something new. Promo codes, those are new, right? So we have to evolve and change. And I'll be honest, there was like 1 or 2 times last month where I forgot to send them to people and they signed up anyway. But And then I was like, oh crap, but at least I still used all mine. But I just one of those new things, like you just kind of forget about it, right? But you get better. And so you just kind of have to grow and evolve and change as a coach. But that's a good thing, right? It takes you out of your comfort zone. It helps you grow as a coach and as a person and as a leader. But you also have to think about what isn't working right now. Is it, mass inviting? Is it, your coach sneak peeks maybe need a little bit of work? How can you even level up and make things that much better? So, for example, a couple of months ago, actually probably more than that, probably 6 months ago, I started making my Insta stories like of my workouts just look a little bit more profesh. And that's the same with like challenge group stuff. I actually use the Unfold app. It was a paid app that you have to pay for, but I really like it because it's kind of just crisp and clean and makes things look really professional. So make sure that you kind of invest in your business in the areas that it needs in order to make things a little bit more professional and just, I don't know, just look better. I think that's a huge investment in just knowing, a lot of people watch your stories, knowing that you're the real deal, and knowing that this coaching business or whatever you're doing is legit. It's not a scam. So put in the effort to make yourself look different. The other one is figuring out who is your tribe. If you don't have a team, this is a really great time to dive in and figure out who you're really looking for in the first place. It took me a while to figure that out because in the beginning I was kind of all over the place. And I can honestly say finding your team is the best thing that honestly can happen to you in your business. Like, I dreamed of the days that I would have the team that I do now. And I dream of the days that we are even bigger. And I told my girls this year, I said, next year at Summit, we are going to be doubled. We are going to be double what we are right now. We're going to have double as many people here that we have right now. And so I always encourage my girls and also even myself is to find your people, find your tribe, who they are, and love them hard because you don't know how long they're going to be there. You don't know if they're going to quit tomorrow or next week. And so kind of shower them even with little treats every once in a while, cards, incentives, even just checking in with them. You don't have to pay, get gifts all the time, but just checking in with them, texting them, asking them how their week is going versus like, have you signed up anybody yet today? And basically finding your people and loving them hard. And I know Rose has done that a lot for me in the past, and it always seemed like she would always send a card or like a little incentive at just the right time. Like it was just like when I was going through something or like it was just at the right time. And so a lot of my coaches or like even just followers have said, oh, you checked in with me at the right time. Like this business is not by accident. And so just know that. So even if you don't have any people to lead, find people that you want to be on your dream team and just love them and show up to them and comment on their posts and message them and see how they're doing more so than just inviting them to your group. If you also have a team, show them your love by finding their love language. So my love language is probably a little bit of everything, but I do like gifts and I do like quality time. And so I always tell Taylor whenever he is not in during planting season and harvest and like the whole summer, I always tell him I always get a little cranky because quality time is one of my love languages. So I just need quality time. And that's the same thing. Find out what your coaches love. Find out if they like gifts. Find out if they, need time. Find out those little things about them and make it about them. Also doing one-on-one mentor calls. So I recently started implementing this even more so because I can kind of tell, honestly, if people are really serious about this business by doing the first couple of calls that they do with me. And so I have coaches that are really, really setting themselves up for success. and at least helping people. If they're not hitting Success Club, at least they're helping people and being active and posting on social media. And so I try to give them my time, a good majority of my time, because I know that they need it just as much as I need it, because you should want to hop on calls with people. Like, it shouldn't be like, oh crap, I have to hop on a call with somebody today. It should be something that they're uplifting you, and when you get off that call, you're motivated to level up. Also having like some sort of kind of like sleepover or get-togethers. Obviously, I can't come to your beach days in New Jersey because I live in North Dakota. So I can't always make it, but I try to have like maybe even a lot of I have quite a few challengers who are kind of local, like within 100 miles or 150 miles. And so we have done kind of like cheat meals, like we've went to Olive Garden after we finished 80-Day Obsession, or, just kind of things that you can do to get together. A lot of my coaches are out of state though. Vanessa is the only one that is in state or lives close enough to me that we can get together. But we usually, she's a teacher, so usually we like have Perkins dates or something like that, that we can get together and have breakfast or something. So treat your girls, even if it's your challenge group, because honestly, where do coaches come from? Challenge groups. All right, where do you want to be? So, have you journaled lately, or have you made up a vision board? I know at the beginning of the year, I took Lindsay Matway's vision board course, and it was awesome. It was phenomenal. And I love her. She was one of the coaches that I do actually follow and keep up with. But, have you journaled and thought about who you're looking for? Or do you have a vision board that is easily accessible, like on your fridge or, on your computer, that you can see it every day? And if you don't, like, are you are you sharing your vision with your team? And even if you don't have a team, you can share that vision on social media. A lot of times when I was a new coach, I didn't have a team, but I would share my vision about being in shape, or having my RA, and kind of sharing that journey on social media. This is such a gut check question, you guys. Will what you did in your business today get you to where you want to be tomorrow? Probably, yes. What I did today would do that, but what you did today, would it get where you want to be tomorrow? Also, these are some really good gut check questions. Does what you're doing on a daily basis match up to where you want to be? If you have a team and they did what you did today, would they be successful? And that's something to always ask yourself at the end of the day. And those are great questions, even if you're just leading yourself. So this was my vision board that I created. So some of the things that I looked back at this just a couple weeks ago, because I had my own team call and doing a vision board, but I definitely accomplished growing my team. I grew deeper in my faith. I attended Coach Summit. I didn't get to surprise my grandpa in Boise, Idaho, but I did go out there and get to see him. We are a 1-star diamond team, so we need one more person to be 2-star. I am pregnant right now, so I am trying to be fit. So a lot of the things that I have accomplished. We don't have a new vehicle. I haven't saved a ton of money this year because hello, baby stuff is expensive. But I would say definitely a lot of these things I can say that I have a check mark by and have accomplished. So, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 out of these things isn't bad at all for accomplishing. All right, so if you don't have a vision board, I just created this for my team on PicMonkey. It took me 2 seconds, literally. I just did something kind of cute. And you can even just create yourself one. You can do it on like a whiteboard. You can do it old school. You can get poster board and like cut out stuff. You can do it on PicMonkey, however you prefer. I kind of like the digital version just because then you can put it in more places. You can put it on your screensaver. You can put it on your phone. You can, send it to your husband and make sure he knows what you're doing. You can send it to your mom, you can send it to all the people. But it is really nice to be able to have. And you guys, if you don't have a vision board, definitely have one. I told my girls this year after going to Summit and like traveling more and stuff, I seen all the Louis bags, and I know Rose has one too. And I was like, that is going up on my vision board because that is like just proof that you've made it next year. All right. Okay, so be the leader that you want to be. So maybe your leader quit, or maybe your leader isn't as active as you like. And I actually have a couple of coaches in my team and challenge group that are my adoptive coaches, I call them, because they hop on our team calls, they participate in my accountability groups very actively. And so maybe I was really good friends with their upline, and so I kind of basically took on that role as their leader. And I always even tell them, like, hey, if you need help, just let me know, you know? And so I'm there for them, even though I am not getting anything from that. I am still just a leader to them, and just kind of taking them in and welcoming them under my wings, because right now that's what they need. And so it was really cool to meet some of these girls that I never met before that aren't even on my team, but I kind of think like they are because, you know, I know them, I know who they are. And so maybe, you know, your upline isn't active, or maybe your upline wasn't even in the picture. Like Lindsay Matway, when she started, she contacted like her upline and then her upline, and she tried to go up, I think, like 2 or 3 levels, and nobody was doing the business. So she taught herself. And I know I've heard this before. I think Melanie Mitchell also said it at Summit, but I know I've heard it before then. But this big business is totally figure outable. It's something that you can figure out no matter if you don't have an upline or even if you do. But maybe you just have other ideas on leadership and supporting your team, and, you know, being a better leader, maybe out leadering your leader, even if she's awesome, you know? So, and just sharing your story, where you are, where you're headed versus where you came from. Maybe you had a huge weight loss, you know, and so sharing that, or sharing, you know, that you want to be in the million club, and you maybe started out, you know, wherever you started from, sharing more results. And shouting out challengers is huge. I've been definitely trying to do more of this myself, sharing more about coaching, sharing and shouting out coaches who are successful, and talking about coaching like you're talking to your grandma. Um, and that's really important, because you wouldn't talk to your grandma and share about the compensation plan, would you? You talk to her in small layman's terms that she doesn't really know what you're doing, what this coaching thing is. So make sure that you are talking to your followers, and you're not using our key words like bod. Nobody knows what bod is. Like, you have a nice bod. Yeah, they're gonna be like, oh, yeah, I know what bod is. My body. But no, that's not what it is, okay? So make sure that you're talking in easy terms, even taking away the word, you know, like Shakeology, and replacing it with something else, or just kind of taking away those keywords, even accountability groups, and maybe saying like, you know, health and fitness group, or, you know, something that you can really like just break it down for people so they understand. Another one is, don't be a time suck. So this is like something that I'm really passionate about and fires me up, because I totally know like this business takes time, but it doesn't take the amount of time that people think it does. All right, it's totally possible to do this while working full time. Okay, so if you're working and you're setting aside time to work, are you really working? Or are you online shopping? Are you playing games? Are you watching other coaches' stories? Are you playing with your baby or your pet? um, are you really, really working, you guys? And I tell my coaches, I literally get under their butt and tell them, hey, okay, if you're following more than 5 coaches, you need to unfollow. And here's why. If you know what Lindsay Matway or Danielle Natoni or any of these top coaches are doing tomorrow at 5 o'clock, you know too much. Okay. And I actually had one of my coaches was at Summit and she was following, I got to call her out. So I got to call you out. I'm sorry, you know who you are. But she was following this other girl. And I was like, and this other coach was trying to get to Summit, but because of all these weather delays, she couldn't get there. And so I was like, in the back of my mind, I talked to her after this, but I was like, who cares? Okay, who cares? You are at Summit. You came to focus. You are here. That's the most important thing, is that you are here. All right. And so who cares what all these other coaches are doing? The only really coaches that I like to follow are Lindsay Matway and Katie Hafner. And I'm sorry, Rose, sometimes I don't even watch your stories. Okay. I only come, I'm honest here. I come just to see the baby. All right. And then that's totally okay. I actually hide people's stories, okay? Because you can get too obsessive, okay? So it's okay to hide people's stories. And I tell my coaches, I don't care. I don't even want you watching my stories. Just go do your own thing. It's okay. You can search me if you're really concerned and wondering what I'm up to one day. But you don't have to. Don't waste the time on watching me. You want to be connecting with other people. You've already connected with me. And I tell my coaches the same thing. I'm sorry, I don't watch their stories every day. I just, basically trust that they're doing the right thing. And I will on occasion go through and I'll comment and engage with them back, but it's kind of exciting then. They're like, oh, hey, she watched my stories that day or whatever. So be that person that is engaging with other people and not just with the coaches that you follow. If you follow like mostly coaches on Instagram, you're doing something wrong. Okay. And then make sure that when you do sit down to work, that it's, for a power hour or, for 15 minutes or 20 minutes, that you're intentional and focused. So even if that's turning off your phone, turning off your notifications, or whatever you have to do. If you have a dial-up phone like we still have a landline. And sometimes you just have to, put it off, put the receiver off, nobody calls or whatever you gotta do. And honestly, with my phone, I actually only get texting notifications. I don't get Facebook, I don't get Messenger, I don't get Instagram because it's just way too overstimulating for me. I hate that. Like, I hate having those red little bubbles on your phone. And so I turn those off and I don't have any other notifications. So make sure that you are, intentional in your focus when you are working. All right, that is it. Anybody have any questions? I hope I wasn't too harsh.
We always need some tough love every now and then. And yes, do not follow me. I'm very not interesting. Alecia hit the nail on the head with that. Like, don't waste your time following me or following other coaches. Like, that time could be spent so much better doing and working your business. So I 100% agree with that. And I don't care. I don't want you following me. If I see you, I do call people out. I'm like, stop following me. Like, my life is not that interesting.
That's what I tell my coaches too. I'm like, and I love that they watch my stories. I love that. Like, they need ideas and stuff too, but I'm like, it's just me. Like, I'm just like, go follow somebody else.
Thank you, Alecia. Does anyone have any questions or anything that they want to add? And one day we will get you to a beach day.
Yes. I need to meet all you Jersey people. I have too many people out there that I'm close with.
I know. Anybody? No? All right, ladies. Thank you so much, Alecia. I'll post a recording in case you hopped on late. But have a great night.